Let's go to page 191 and number 31. So you have 6x squared plus 7x minus 10. Okay, so again, every time you go through the checklist. So step 1, common factor cannot. Step 2, 3 terms for perfect square. This is not a perfect square, so that's not it. Step 3, cube, not it. So go to step 4, master product. Okay, so master product, you have to add to get 6. You have to add to get 7. You have to add to get the middle. You have to multiply to get this, will be negative 60. Okay, so those are the combination that you need to get. Again, it's fast, you just go down the list. So 1 comma negative 60, 2 comma negative 30, 3 comma negative 20, 4 comma negative 15, 5 comma negative 12. So when you get to negative 12, this will give you negative 7. So the number is correct, the sign is opposite, so you just go and make it into 12 comma 5, negative 5. Okay? Okay. So next step is how to do is you need to break these things down. Okay? So again, factoring is undoing the FOIL method. So you have to undo the first term, the f. So you always start with the lowest and the highest. Okay? And do the inside first. So 6 times something give you 12. Yes, so this is going to work. So this would be the inside. So this would be plus 2. 6 times 2 will give you the 12. Okay? So this is the inside. So this is the outside over here. Okay, this is the outside. So this will give you minus 5. And so that's it. Okay? Okay, let's go to the next one. Okay, 33. You got 4t squared minus 9t plus 6. Okay, so again, you go through the list. So step 1, common factor cannot. Step 2, the perfect square. This is not a perfect square. Step 3, the cube. This is not the cube. So let's go to step 4. So you have to add to get negative 9. You have to multiply to get 24. So to get negative, you have to use both negatives. You have to use negative 1 comma negative 24, negative 2, negative 12, negative 3, negative 8, negative 4, negative 6. And none of this match. Okay, so notice none of this match the negative 9, and this is as close you can get, right? So in this case, this is not factorable, so you just write down prime. So just follow the instruction. Okay. Okay, let's go to the next one. You got 12p squared minus 32pq minus 5q squared. Again, every time you go through the list, right? Step 1, common factor cannot. Step 2, special factor for perfect. Okay, so in order to be the perfect square, this has to be a perfect square, perfect square. So this is not a perfect square. Then you go to cube. This is not a cube, so go to master product, right? So again, you have to add to get the middle term. You have to multiply to get the master product negative 60. Okay? Okay, so again, start with 1 comma negative 60, 2 comma negative 30, and by the time you get here, you know that that's not going to get you the negative 32, okay? Because when you get to 3, it's going to get less and less, okay? But if you don't believe it, you just keep going, okay? And 5, negative 12. Again, notice none of this is going to give you the 32. Okay, this is the closest you're going to get, but the sign is not correct, right? This will give you the negative 30. So you can see that this is also not factorable. So this is prime. So that's the reason you want to do the list. So that way you can see none of this is going to, it's going to match. If you don't make the list, if you do it in your head, you're not going to know if you miss something or it's not factorable. Okay, number 37. You got 4x3 plus ax squared minus 5xy squared. Okay, so again, every point make sure you go through the steps, right? So step 1, common factor. So all these have the x, so you can factor out the x. So factor out the x, you're going to get 4x squared plus ax minus 5y squared. Okay, so that's step 1. Now you go to step 2. 3 terms you check for perfect square. Okay, so this is a perfect square, this is not. Okay, again, in order to do the perfect square, the beginning and the end have to be perfect squares. So this is not a perfect square. Okay, the 5 is not a perfect square. Okay, so you go to step 3, cube. This is not a cube, so go to master product. Okay, so you have to add to get 8. you have to multiply to get negative 20. Okay, so you can start 1 comma negative 20, 2 comma negative 10. So by the time we get here, you know that you're going to get negative 8. Okay, this will give you negative 8. So the number is correct, but the sign is wrong. So you have to just make them opposite. Okay, so this will be the one. Okay, now you drop. So you want to go down, so you can round up everything. Okay, so again, you start with x and 4x. Okay, start with the lowest and the highest. Okay, so you have to do the inside first. Okay, so 4 times something give you 10. No, cannot. 4 times something give you negative 2. Cannot. So the 4 is not going to work because 4 times something is not going to give you either one of that. So this cannot. So you just try the next one. So instead of x and 4x, you just try 2x and 2x. Okay. Okay. So you can do the inside first. So this one will work, right? Actually, either one will work. So you always want to get a higher number. So 2 times plus 5, right? 2 times 5 will give you 10. That's the inside. Then you do the outside. So this will be outside. So it will be 2 times minus 1. Right? 2 times negative 1 give you negative 2. Okay? And so that's it. Okay. Let's go to the next one. Okay, number 39. You have 4p q to the 4 minus 32pq. Okay, so again, step 1, you have to do the common factor. So 4 and 32, you can factor out the 4, and you got p and the p, so you can factor the p. You got q to the 4, and you got q, so you can factor the q. Okay, so this one 4pq, so this will be q to the 3. So do a quick check. So this time they will give you that, and minus 8, and that's it, right? So now continue, right? So that's step 1. Now you go to step 2. 2 terms was square. This is now the perfect square, right? Okay. So you go to the cube. So you go down to step 3. This is the cube, right? Difference of cube. Okay. So what you want to do is you can make this into 2 cube. Okay. Make right a equal to 2 cube. Then when you're doing the cubes, right? You get one that's same size. The parentheses is the same size, and get one that's bigger. Okay, and then from here, okay, to factor the cube, you just get rid of the cube for the small parentheses, okay, and the big parentheses you just square that, and you square that, and the middle you just take the opposite, would be plus 2 cube. Okay, you can square that because because you got 1 power times 2 power will give you 3 power, right? Okay, 1 power times 2 power will give you 3 power, and this is to cancel all the middle terms. Okay, and so. This is it. Okay, you got r to the 4 minus 16s to the 4. Okay, so again, step 1, common factor, cannot, nothing to factor out. Step 2, 2 terms, perfect squares, right? Difference of squares, so you can into conjugates. Okay, so you need to have a r squared times r squared, right? Just go down each term. So this one, you need the r squared. To get minus, you have to get plus, minus. To get 16, you need to get 4 and 4. 4 times 4 gives you 16. S to the 4, you need to s squared and s squared, right? So this is done, but this one is still square minus square, right? So you have to do this one more time. Okay, so you can, to break these things down, you need to have r times r to give you r squared. You need to have a plus minus to give you minus. You need to 2 times 2 to give you 4. And you need to get s times s to get you s squared. Okay, and that's it. Okay, let's go to the next one. You got x to the 4 minus 3, x squared minus 4. Okay. So you go through the step. Okay, step 1, common factor, cannot. Step 2, perfect square. This is a perfect square, this is not. Negative 4 is not a perfect square. You need to have a plus 4 to be a perfect square. So you go to cube, no, not yet. So you have to go to the master product. Okay. Okay. So you have to add to get negative 3. You have to multiply to get negative 4. Okay, so 1 comma negative 4, and that's it. Okay. So when you're doing, this is x to the 4, so you need to break into x squared and x squared. Okay. And so again, so this would be plus 1, and this would be minus 4. Okay. Now, because there's a square, when there's a square, you have to keep checking. Okay. So this one is done already, right? But this one this is a step 2A, right? Again, it's a difference of square. When you have square minus square, you have to recognize that. Okay. So this is done, but this one you have to break into. So this one you need to have x and x. X times x give you x squared. Plus times minus give you minus. 2 times 2 give you 4. Okay. And that's it. Okay, let's go to the next one. Okay, so this one you're looking for GCF and LCM. Okay, so you get x squared minus 3x plus 2. And then you have the x squared minus 4x plus 4. Okay, so to find GCF and LCM for the polynomials, you need to go and do the factoring. Okay, so let's go and factor this first. Okay, again, go to step 1, step 2, so this is going to be step 4. Okay, so you need to add to get negative 3, right? You have to add to get that. You have to multiply to get the 2. So to get negative, you have to use negative, so it would be negative 1 comma negative 2, and that's it. Okay, so you need to get minus 1, minus 2. Okay, this one, okay, actually this one you have to do the step 2b. Perfect square. So you're going to get x. So again, this is your. So don't go step 4 right away. Okay, go down the list. So this is the perfect square. So try this one here. Okay, so try this one, and this one will give you minus 2, right? So again, from this you get that. From this you get that. And the sign to figure out positive and negative, you have to match the middle. And so this is it. Okay. So that's what you get. So now you have to get your GCF. So GCF would be what they have in common. So in this case, you have x minus 2. Okay? And when you have exponent, you take the lower one. Okay? And the LCM is you take the higher one. And you have to include everything. So you need to have x minus 1. And you need to have x minus 2. But this is a 1 power, 2 power. So you have to take the 2 power. You have to take the higher exponent. Okay? Okay, let's go to the next one. Okay, you got t to the 3 minus 2t squared minus 3t, and then you have t to the 3 plus 5t squared plus 4t. Okay, so first let's go and factor out the t. So you got t squared minus 2t minus 3. Okay, and then from here you can do go through the steps. So this will be master product. So you have to add to get negative 2. You have to multiply to get to negative 3. Okay. Okay, so you go 1 comma negative 3. Okay, 1 comma negative 3 will give you the correct combination. So it will be t plus 1, t minus 3. Okay. Now let's do this one here. Again, you can factor out the t. Okay, and try the perfect square. The middle is not going to match. Okay, so this is not going to be step 2. If this is a 4, then it would be the step 2b. But this is a 5, so you have to do the master product. So you have to add to get 5. You have to multiply to get 4. So it would be 1 comma 4. So it would be t plus 1, t plus 4. Okay, so let's go and get GCF. The greatest common factor is what do they have in common. So this, you have the t, and you have the t plus 1. Okay. Okay, we have to do the LCM. Okay, LCM is how to include everything. So again, what you do is when these things get messy, you start with the number, then the alphabet, and the group. Okay, so the alphabet is t. In the group, you need to get t plus 1, t minus 3, and t plus 4. Okay. Okay, let's go to the next one. Okay, you have p minus q, and then you have p to the 3 minus q to the 3. Okay, this is already done. There's nothing you can do about this one, but this one you can factor the cube, right? This is step 3 cube, so be p minus q. Right? Again, to factor out the cube, you just go and get rid of the cube, right? So you match. Then you square this to get p squared. You square this, you get plus q squared. Okay? Again, 1 power times 2 power give you 3 power, right? 1 power times 2 power give you 3 power. And when you square this, right? When you square, you become positive. Okay, now you have to cancel out the middle term. To do that, you have to take opposite, so plus pq. Okay? Okay, so now you're done factoring. Your next step is going to get your GCF. Well, GCF would be just this, right? So it would be p minus q. Okay, LCM is you have to have everything. So you need to have p minus q. Okay, take care of that. And then you also need to have p squared plus pq plus q squared.